Have you ever felt your heart sink as you frantically search for a restroom, worried you won't make it in time? If you're over 60 and that urgent need to pee is stealing your confidence, your sleep, and your freedom, you're not alone. And it's not just aging. Doctors are begging older women to stop 7 dangerous habits that are making frequent urination worse. And I learned this the hard way after years of embarrassment and sleepless nights. Stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm sharing the emotional journey and simple changes that gave me back my life, and they can transform yours too. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. The just-in-case sip before leaving. For years, I had a quirky little habit before leaving the house. I'd chug a glass of water as a just-in-case precaution. Whether I was heading out for a quick grocery run, a coffee date with friends, or a family event, I thought this ritual was a clever way to stay hydrated and avoid feeling parched later. I'd pat myself on the back for being proactive about my health, imagining I was outsmarting dehydration. But without fail, within 20 to 30 minutes of leaving home, I'd find myself in a near panic, my bladder screaming for relief as I scanned the horizon for the nearest restroom. My heart would race, my palms would sweat, and I'd silently pray I'd make it to a bathroom in time. One particularly mortifying moment at a crowded festival, where I had to weave through throngs of people to find a porta-pot, finally pushed me to seek answers. I consulted a urologist, expecting a quick fix or maybe a prescription. Instead, she delivered a revelation that left me stunned. My just-in-case sips were actively harming my bladder. By drinking water when I wasn't thirsty, I was inadvertently training my bladder to signal urgency prematurely, like a fire alarm going off for no reason. This habit was overworking my bladder muscle, causing it to become hyperactive and less capable of holding urine effectively. Over time, this constant overstimulation could weaken bladder control, leading to more frequent urges and even accidental leaks. It was a vicious cycle I'd unknowingly created. The urologist explained that the bladder is a muscle that thrives on balance, not extremes. Constantly topping it off with small, unnecessary sips doesn't give it a chance to rest or function naturally. This can lead to a condition called overactive bladder, OAB, which affects millions of people and is characterized by sudden, uncontrollable urges to urinate. For me, the solution was surprisingly simple but required a mindset shift. Only drink when you're genuinely thirsty. The body is remarkably good at signaling when it needs hydration, and overriding those signals with habitual sips can do more harm than good. What to do instead? Start your day with intentional hydration. Drink a full glass of water upon waking to kickstart your system and support your kidneys. Throughout the day, sip water slowly when you feel thirsty, rather than gulping large amounts out of habit. Before leaving the house, give your bladder a break by using the restroom and avoiding that just-in-case drink. If you're worried about staying hydrated during long outings, carry a small water bottle and take tiny sips only as needed. For longer trips, plan your route with restroom stops in mind to reduce anxiety. Since adopting these changes, I've experienced a newfound sense of freedom. I no longer spend my outings mentally mapping the nearest bathroom, and I can focus on enjoying the moment instead of dreading the next urge. 2. Late-night drinks that steal your sleep. I used to cherish my evening wind-down routine, curling up on the couch with a steaming mug of chamomile tea or a cool glass of water, binge-watching my favorite How, or reading a good book. I thought these drinks were the epitome of self-care, soothing my mind and body after a long day. But then came the 3 a.m. wake-up calls, stumbling to the bathroom for the second or third time, groggy, frustrated, and unable to fall back asleep. Night after night, I'd wake up feeling defeated, my sleep fractured and my energy sapped. I chalked it up to aging, assuming frequent nighttime bathroom trips, a condition called nocturia, were just an inevitable part of getting older. But when I mentioned this to my doctor during a routine checkup, she set me straight with a surprising truth. Drinking liquids after 7 p.m., even healthy options like herbal tea or water, can overwhelm your kidneys, especially as you age. Unlike in our younger years, when the kidneys slow down their filtration process at night to allow uninterrupted sleep, aging kidneys lose some of that efficiency. This means that any liquid consumed in the evening is more likely to pass through to the bladder quickly, waking you up with an urgent need to urinate. To make matters worse, beverages like tea, coffee, or even certain calming herbal blends, like chamomile or peppermint, can act as mild diuretics, stimulating the bladder and increasing urine production. My beloved chamomile tea, which I thought was helping me relax, was a culprit in my sleepless nights. The doctor also pointed out that frequent nighttime urination doesn't just disrupt sleep, it can contribute to fatigue, mood swings, and even a weakened immune system over time. For women, hormonal changes during menopause can exacerbate the issue by reducing bladder capacity and increasing sensitivity to fluids. Armed with this knowledge, I was determined to reclaim my restful nights. What to do instead? Stop consuming liquids at least 2 hours before bedtime to give your kidneys and bladder a chance to process fluids before you sleep. If you're craving something soothing in the evening, try hydrating earlier in the day with water-rich foods like cucumber, watermelon, or celery at dinner. These foods provide gentle hydration without flooding your system, as they release water slowly during digestion. If you must have a bedtime ritual, opt for a small, non-diuretic beverage like a tiny sip of milk or a caffeine-free, non-herbal tea alternative, but keep it minimal. I also started keeping a small fan or white noise machine by my bed to drown out the temptation to focus on my bladder during quiet nights. Since making these changes, I've gone from multiple bathroom trips to sleeping through most nights, waking up refreshed and ready to tackle the day. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 3. Sitting still for hours. After decades of hard work and constant movement, raising kids, managing a career, and keeping up with life's demands, I relished the chance to slow down in my later years. My favorite way to unwind was sinking into my plush armchair, knitting needles in hand, as I binged entire seasons of my favorite shows or caught up on podcasts. Hours would slip by as I lost myself in stories or intricate stitch patterns, my body barely moving. I thought I was giving myself the rest I deserved, but my pelvic floor, the group of muscles that supports the bladder, uterus, and other pelvic organs, was paying a steep price for my sedentary habits. The wake-up call came during a friend's dinner party, when a small, unexpected leak left me mortified and scrambling for an excuse to leave early. I couldn't understand why this was happening. I wasn't that old, and I'd never had issues before. A physical therapist specializing in pelvic health explained the problem. Prolonged sitting weakens the pelvic floor muscles, which are crucial for maintaining bladder control and preventing leaks. When you sit for hours without moving, these muscles become slack, losing their ability to contract and support the bladder effectively. Over time, this can lead to urinary urgency, incontinence, or even pelvic organ prolapse in severe cases. Soft, cushy chairs, like my beloved armchair, only made things worse by allowing my core and pelvic muscles to disengage completely. The therapist also noted that aging naturally reduces muscle tone, and a sedentary lifestyle accelerates this decline. For women, childbirth, menopause, or even chronic coughing can further strain the pelvic floor, making it all the more critical. I realized that my hours of stillness weren't a reward, they were a betrayal of my body's foundation. What to do instead? Break up long periods of sitting with intentional movement every 30 to 45 minutes. This doesn't mean you need a full workout. Just stand up, stretch, or walk around the room for a minute or two. Gentle activities like swaying to music, doing a few squats, or even marching in place can engage your pelvic floor and core muscles. If you love to knit or watch TV, consider swapping your soft couch for a firmer chair or a stability ball to encourage subtle muscle engagement. Pelvic floor exercises, like Kegels, contracting and releasing the muscles you'd use to stop urine flow, can also strengthen this area when done correctly. Consult a physical therapist for proper technique. These small changes have been transformative for me. I now move with purpose throughout the day, and the confidence I've regained, no longer fearing leaks at social gatherings, has been worth every effort. 4. Holding it in like a badge of honor. I used to wear my ability to hold it like a badge of honor. Whether I was stuck in traffic on a long car ride, sitting through an hour-long church service, or enduring a marathon meeting at work, I prided myself on my iron will. I'd tell myself that needing a bathroom break was a sign of weakness, a marker of getting old that I wasn't ready to accept. But this stubborn pride came crashing down at my grandson's high school graduation. Halfway through the ceremony, I was gripped by an intense, almost painful urge to urinate. When I finally made it to the restroom, I could barely empty my bladder, and a lingering sense of pressure and discomfort haunted me for hours. Alarmed, I booked an appointment with a urologist, who delivered a sobering lesson about the dangers of my habit. Holding in urine for extended periods stretches the bladder beyond its healthy capacity, weakening its muscle tone over time. This can lead to a host of problems: incomplete bladder emptying, urinary retention, increased risk of urinary tract infections, UTIs, and even potential damage to the kidneys if the habit becomes chronic. The urologist explained that the bladder is designed to signal when it's time to go T, typically every 3 to 4 hours, and ignoring those signals can desensitize the nerves, making it harder to recognize when the bladder is full or empty. For me, this explained the lingering pressure and difficulty I'd experienced. In severe cases, this habit can contribute to bladder dysfunction or even require medical intervention. The urologist also debunked my belief that holding it in was a sign of strength. Instead, it was a risky form of pride that could have long-term consequences. Women, in particular, are prone to bladder issues due to anatomical factors like a shorter urethra, and habits like this only compound the problem. What to do instead? Make it a habit to urinate every 3 to 4 hours, even if the urge isn't overwhelming. Think of it as listening to your body's gentle whispers before they turn into desperate screams. If you're in a situation where a bathroom isn't immediately available, like a long car ride or a public event, plan ahead by using the restroom before you leave and avoiding diuretic drinks like coffee or soda. Practice timed voiding by scheduling bathroom breaks at regular intervals to retrain your bladder to function on a healthy rhythm. For me, letting go of the need to prove my bladder's strength was humbling but liberating. I now prioritize my body's needs over my ego, and my bladder and dignity are all the better for it. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 5. Overloading on water at the wrong times. At 67, I eagerly joined the hydration craze sweeping through health circles, convinced that carrying a massive water bottle and sipping constantly would flush my system, boost my energy, and keep me youthful. I'd lug around a gallon-sized jug, proudly chugging water at every opportunity. During meetings, while running errands, even late into the evening while watching my favorite shows. I believed this was the key to optimal health, a simple habit to counteract the effects of aging. However, my enthusiasm backfired in ways I hadn't anticipated. By overloading on water, especially in the late afternoon and evening, I was putting undue strain on my aging bladder. This led to relentless nighttime urges to urinate, forcing me out of bed multiple times each night. These groggy, middle-of-the-night bathroom trips not only shattered my sleep but also increased my risk of dangerous falls, a serious concern for older adults. Medical experts note that as we age, our kidneys become less efficient at regulating fluid balance, particularly at night, a condition known as nocturia. This inefficiency, combined with excessive evening hydration, can exacerbate bladder sensitivity, disrupt critical sleep cycles, and elevate the risk of falls, which are a leading cause of injury among seniors. The consequences went beyond physical discomfort. Poor sleep left me irritable, foggy, and less able to enjoy my days, while the fear of falling during those nighttime treks gnawed at my peace of mind. Determined to find a better way, I consulted a urologist and a nutritionist, who helped me rethink my approach to hydration. The solution wasn't to drink less water overall, but to time my intake strategically. I learned to spread my hydration evenly throughout the day, starting with a tall glass of water first thing in the morning to rehydrate after sleep. I prioritized steady sips during the morning and early afternoon, when my body could process fluids efficiently, and made a conscious effort to taper off after 6 p.m. By limiting myself to small sips in the evening, only when thirsty I gave my bladder a chance to rest overnight. I also worked with my healthcare provider to calculate my ideal daily water intake, factoring in my weight, activity level, and climate. Living in a warm region meant I needed slightly more. For most older adults, aiming for 1.5 to 2 liters daily, adjusted for individual needs, is sufficient without overwhelming the system. This mindful approach to hydration transformed my life. Within weeks, my nighttime bathroom trips dwindled, my sleep deepened, and I felt a renewed sense of control. No longer did I dread the dark hours, and my days were brighter, energized by restful nights and the confidence that I was caring for my body wisely. 6. Eating bladder-irritating foods. For years, Friday pizza nights were the heartbeat of my family's traditions, a sacred ritual of gathering around a steaming pie loaded with spicy pepperoni, tangy tomato sauce, and a glass of crisp wine or fizzy soda to wash it all down. These evenings were filled with laughter, stories, and the warmth of togetherness. But as I entered my late 60s, I began to notice an unsettling pattern. Within hours of indulging, I'd be struck by an urgent need to rush to the bathroom, sometimes multiple times in a single evening. These episodes turned my cherished family nights into sources of anxiety and discomfort. At first, I dismissed it as a quirk of aging, but the problem worsened, robbing me of precious moments like snuggling on the couch with my grandchildren for movie nights. The breaking point came when I had to excuse myself repeatedly during a Pixar marathon, missing half the film and the giggles of my grandkids. Determined to understand what was happening, I dove into research and consulted a urologist, who pointed out that certain foods and drinks, spicy ingredients, acidic tomatoes, citrus fruits, caffeine, alcohol, and even the artificial sweeteners in my healthy diet snacks were notorious for irritating the bladder. These culprits were inflaming my bladder lining, triggering urgency and discomfort that disrupted my evenings and my life. Rather than abandon my beloved pizza nights or resign myself to a joyless diet, I took a proactive approach to identify and manage my triggers. I started by keeping a detailed food and symptom diary, jotting down everything I ate and drank alongside any bladder flare-ups. This revealed clear patterns: spicy foods, tomato-based dishes, citrus desserts, caffeinated coffee, and even sugar-free gum with artificial sweeteners were consistent offenders. Armed with this knowledge, I made strategic adjustments. I shifted my consumption of bladder-irritating foods to lunchtime, giving my body hours to process them before bedtime. For dinner, I opted for bladder-friendly meals. Think grilled chicken with mild herbs, steamed vegetables, or creamy pasta dishes without tomato sauce. I swapped wine and soda for soothing chamomile tea or plain water in the evenings, reserving my occasional glass of wine for earlier in the day. I also became vigilant about reading labels, avoiding hidden irritants like artificial sweeteners in processed snacks, and choosing whole, natural foods instead. To support my bladder further, I incorporated hydrating, anti-inflammatory foods like cucumbers and watermelon into my diet. Within a month, my urgency episodes dropped by nearly half, and I could once again savor family gatherings without the looming fear of a bathroom emergency. Movie nights with my grandkids were joyful again, filled with uninterrupted laughter and connection, proving that small, thoughtful changes could restore life's sweetest moments. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 7. Ignoring your pelvic floor's cry for help. At 67, I experienced one of the most mortifying moments of my life. Laughing heartily at a friend's joke in a crowded cafe, only to feel an unexpected leak that left me frozen with embarrassment. My first instinct was to retreat, avoiding social outings and resigning myself to the belief that incontinence was an unavoidable part of aging. I stocked up on absorbent pads, assuming they were my new normal. But everything changed when I sought help from a pelvic floor therapist, who introduced me to the unsung hero of bladder health, the pelvic floor muscles. These muscles, which form a supportive hammock for the bladder, uterus, and other pelvic organs, naturally weaken over time due to factors like menopause, childbirth, weight gain, or simply the passage of years. When neglected, this weakening can lead to leaks, urgent bathroom trips, and even pelvic organ prolapse, a condition where organs shift out of place, causing discomfort and further complications. My therapist explained that these issues aren't an inevitable sentence, but a signal that my pelvic floor was crying out for attention and strengthening. Eager to reclaim my confidence, I embarked on a journey to rehabilitate my pelvic floor. The cornerstone of this effort was Kegel exercises. Simple, discrete contractions of the pelvic floor muscles that can be done anywhere, from sitting in a car to watching TV. My therapist taught me how to identify the correct muscles. Hint: it's the ones you use to stop the flow of urine midstream, and guided me through proper technique, as many people mistakenly engage their abdominal or gluteal muscles instead. For those without access to a therapist, online resources, apps, or even a single consultation with a professional can ensure you're on the right track. I committed to a daily routine of 3 sets of 10 to 15 Kegels, holding each contraction for 3 to 5 seconds and relaxing for an equal amount of time. To make it sustainable, I tied the habit to daily activities, like doing a set while brushing my teeth or waiting for the kettle to boil. My therapist also introduced me to biofeedback tools and gentle core exercises, like bridges and pelvic tilts, to further support my pelvic floor. Within just a few weeks, I noticed a dramatic reduction in leaks and urgency, and by 3 months, I felt stronger and more in control than I had in years. Social outings became joyful again, free from the fear of accidents, and I ditched the pads for good. My pelvic floor wasn't my enemy. It was a powerful ally, waiting to be nurtured and strengthened, proving that with a little effort, I could age with confidence and vitality. Ladies, we've just walked through 7 dangerous habits that could be quietly stealing your freedom and confidence, and the simple changes that can give you back control. I've shared my heart, my struggles, and the lessons that transformed my life because you deserve to live your golden years without fear or embarrassment. What's one thing you've learned today that's opened your eyes? Maybe it's cutting out that late-night tea or starting those Kegel exercises. Please share in the comments below one habit you're ready to change to take back your life. If you found this video helpful, leave your comment, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more empowering tips to thrive at any age. Let's keep supporting each other to live strong and free.